85% of people prefer text over email and phone calls because they want to engage in a conversation. All text messaging is not equal. Customers respond to people, not bots. Be more like people and start having conversations that end in conversions. Use Scipio.
So I'm not a shoe guy. You're more of a shoe guy than me, I think, right?
I wouldn't say I'm not a sneakerhead by any stretch of the imagination, but I recently underwent reorganizing my shoes in my closet, and I have a heinous number of shoes.
How many shoes do you have?
It's in the range of about 35 pairs of shoes.
Oh, that's a lot.
Isn't that kind of a lot?
How many are sneakers? How many are like dress shoes?
I think maybe three to five pairs of various dress level shoes. There's like a pair of boat shoes, which aren't really dress shoes. There's a black pair of dress shoes, brown, various leather type shoes and boots, and like two pairs of
shoes you could wear to church or something.
Mm-hmm. Like that. Yeah, and then the rest are all like Vans or sneakers because I love Vans. So I mean, just casual street shoes or casual sneaker type shoes.
I probably have 3 pairs of sneakers.
Yeah,
and probably 5 or 6 pairs of like more casual,
which is pretty normal, I think.
Yeah,
I have like a little bit of a sneaker
boots.
problem.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm sure you've seen all over Twitter these Lil Nas X Satan shoes that have
one
blood.
drop of human blood,
and Nike is apparently suing them because of it.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me at all. So, for thieves that have no idea what we're talking about, Lil Nas X is this musician.
He did Old Town Road.
What is it called? The song called
Old Town Road, which I love that song. It's a fun song.
It's a fine song. I hate that song, but
I don't really like anything since then. But that I think is a fun song.
Yeah, and he came out with these kind of red shoes with 666 unique pairs containing. They're red. And
they have like a Satan, the star thing.
Yeah, the whatever that is. And a drop of human blood.
Luke 10:18 on the side. They're all black.
Yeah. And I'm not surprised to hear that Nike is suing him because when you see all of the materials around it, it looks like it's a Nike shoe. Like it is a Nike collab.
Yeah, when it has a swoosh on it, it's just reversed.
Yeah, it's not right. So that makes sense to me.
I don't know why he thought he would be. Just don't put the swoosh on it, and it wouldn't have been a problem.
No clue. The only really interesting part is I saw that Miley Cyrus purchased a pair, which had me looking at Miley Cyrus's Twitter. And one thing I liked is Miley Cyrus wrote this really insightful letter to like her younger self, Hannah Montana, on Twitter, and it was like actually a really interesting, insightful letter about like youth and how Hannah Montana kind of is really where her career came from. And like how interesting it is to be an adult and to look back on kind of a child version of yourself and see their success. But anyway, so that was the interesting part that came out of the Lil Nas X Satan shoe. As for whether or not, I think the shoe is ugly, and I'm surprised to say because I'm generally like very in favor of like art and like, there's so many different ways to be artistic, but the drop of human blood thing just like actually kind of grosses me out.
Just seems unnecessary. Like when he first announced, it's like, oh, it's a publicity stunt. He's just doing it just to like become relevant or whatever. It's like, oh, I guess he's actually doing it. Like, it's kind of weird, but whatever.
Whatever. The Satan shoe. I think it's a bad idea. Personally, if you put me in charge of making a shoe, it would not look like it, and it would not have the same values.
But clearly made a ripple, and maybe that'll get him to maybe the lawsuit. What it'll cost to settle will offset from his tour he's about to go on or something.
Yeah.
All right, let's start our podcast.
Okay.
You're a thief and a liar.
I only lied about being a thief.
Steal.
Lie.
We're gonna steal a ship.
Commandant, Lord Lieutenant.
An idea that is fully formed, fully understood, that sticks.
Well, someone like you would just steal.
Ideas are bulletproof.
I'm gonna steal the Declaration of Independence.
Steal this idea.
Hello again, thieves.
We're back.
We are back. Welcome to the Steel City podcast, the only podcast where every week Scott Knudsen, myself, and Andre Washington, we give out genius business ideas for you, the thieves, to steal.
That's right. we're excited. We have an interesting show today. Today, I have the big idea, which
yes.
I am fully prepared for. Very excited.
It's good to have you back, by the way, Andre.
Yeah, that's right. I was not on the show last week.
I know you probably didn't listen and will refuse to listen to the episode.
I have not listened because I think that it would make me sad. I'm worried that it will make me self-conscious that the chemistry is like better, or I don't know. I just can't dare.
Yeah. No, it was like JT Jordan. He did totally fine, and it was like, it's like a backup for anything, right? Like they can hold their own, but I mean, everybody knows we are the show.
OG. Yeah,
you are the OG. Like this is our show. Yeah. No, I'm excited for the show. That we got some good and bad ideas. Andre's got the big idea. We're gonna hop into the mailbag at the end of the episode. Before we do that, Andre, let's transition to a little good idea, bad idea.
Should I go first?
I want to go first, actually. I want to do this. Cool. I want to do the Snorble. Snorble.com. It's in the chat there. Actually, so Jordan, on the last episode, I brought an idea that was like, it's basically a medicine dispenser that has kind of a subtle robotic face on it. And when it gives you pills, it kind of like gets a little like, oh, thank you, and gives you your pills or whatever. So Jordan sent this to me, because this is kind of the same size and in a similar vein. Snorble is a night, not a robot. It's like a little device that you put on your kid's nightstand. And if you wake up, if your kid wakes up, it says Snorble, and the Snorble's like, "What's wrong?" And it's like, "Oh, I can't sleep." And it's like, "Oh, let me tell you a story." And then it proceeds to tell you a story, I guess. The ad I saw for it was like kind of, I don't know. It was like kind of creepy. I'm sure that clearly there's science behind this, but it's more than that, right? It's a sound machine. It's a light machine. It kind of, when they're supposed to get up, it turns on. It's kind of like the all-in-one for kids. I don't know. What do you feel about having like a little AI robot in your kid's room that they can talk to? And is that cool? Is that weird?
Is it insane? Is it truly insane if I say that I want the adult version of this? So,
I mean, walk me through it here, Andre.
We've talked about this a little bit on the podcast before. Scott knows this, but I don't know if I would say I'm not a good sleeper or what my relationship with sleep is, but it certainly could be considerably healthier. I stay up absurdly late and I get up to work at a normal working hour, and I just like generally have like very, I would say like restless sleep. And what I want is a Snorble on my nightstand that, I don't know, there's like many, I'm sure that if you were to talk with like a psychologist or whatever, there's a lot of different ways to look at sleep. The one thing that I have to constantly remind myself of around sleep is like, it's okay to not be able to fall asleep. Like I have to just remind myself, you don't need to beat yourself up about it. You don't need to like feel bad. You don't need to feel,
you idiot, you can't sleep. Like
that's exactly, I mean, that's kind of, that's kind of my self-talk, which is just like, you suck. Like you need to sleep so that you can feel awake in the morning. And I just want a little Snorble that says like, it softly lights up a little bit and it says it's okay that you can't fall asleep.
I'm here for you, Andre.
And then maybe it has that piece, which is like one, that it lights up, and two, that it maybe has like some sleep advice. It knows if you're asleep or awake, and it can say various things or whatever. And then also that it just has kind of Alexa type Spotify connections, Audible connections, and it can, like kind of like a speaker for your sleep process with, I don't know, some sort of AI built in.
So this is $200, which is not cheap, but we have a sound machine / kind of night light thing for our kids, and we got like a nicer one. It's like $50, and this clearly has like other things. It's kind of like a 2-piece thing. It's like this ball, like half ball dome thing, and then inside is this little robot thing that's like a little happy guy. And it looks like you can take the little guy out and like sleep with him like he's a teddy bear also.
Yeah, which is fine. So do you feel like this would help your kids?
I don't know, man.
So say that Jack,
I have
if
young.
he's feeling restless,
Yeah,
he could say, Snorble, I'm not tired. And Snorble could say, I'll tell you a story, Jack. And then, the rest just goes from there.
Yeah, I just feel like, again, I have a almost 4-year-old, and so he's not quite there where he, like, if Jack can't sleep, he'll just come in my room. Which I think
That's what I'm saying. What if Snorble could deflect 40% of Jack visits with XYZ?
Well, I guess my kids don't come in my room so frequently that I'm like they come in once a quarter, like it's
Really?
But maybe as they get older, they'll come more. I know a lot of people co-sleep a lot more. What I think this is funny. So this is an Indiegogo, and it's $200. Or if you get the early bird multi-pack, you can get 10 Snorbles for $1,700.
Well,
and
I just value.
I just don't know who that's for. Like,
well, it's for if you
have
there's
10 kids.
Well, no, there's a shop like if you want to wholesale them.
Oh, I see.
Right. And I can think actually of the perfect shop in Salt Lake that's kind of like a ritzy kids
cubby or whatever.
Place. Yeah, exactly. And it's like you throw a couple Snorbles out there and see what sells. What I think, this is mostly a joke, but in my experience, I had younger siblings growing up, but the number one excuse for a kid out of bed is that they need a cup of water.
Yeah.
You kind of agree with this?
Yeah.
So what if Snorble could dispense a little cup of water? That would be awesome.
That'd be kind of fun.
I don't know. I don't hate this idea. I actually really don't. I thought I was going to.
I'm not totally out on something like this. I don't really like the packaging of this. You kind of have to see it. It's very alien, and it has a very specific aesthetic that I just think, I don't know, doesn't quite do it for me.
I think he's cute. So,
what do you got for me, Andre?
Car dongle. Cardongle.co. Cardongle.co is the computer for your car. What Cardongle can do.
I thought this was a fleshlight when you sent it to me.
I realized that because you made that face, and I was like, "Why is Scott making that face?" It's a dongle for your car, folks. Yeah. It's nothing more than that. And what it can do is, with compatible vehicles, it can take over your car entertainment system, thereby allowing you to support Netflix, Hulu, whatever on your little car screen, and to do fun stuff with your car screen. That's what it says it can do. That being said, this is a pretty sketchy website. Not the best I've ever seen.
I love that it's like, okay, so it's, how up to 64 gigs of ROM.
Uh-huh.
So that seems not
That's pretty consistent across the whole site.
Up to 4 gigs of RAM, octa-core CPU.
Yeah. It's a little odd.
Yeah. So I'm just trying to... I also love that the second tab has become a distributor. That's it's got red flag. Oh, compatibility 404 page.
Yeah.
This has got...
It's not the best, but I will say, so what sucks is this site's pretty bad, but this was like a well-funded Indiegogo was how I got here. Yeah. It was like, I think fully funded for sure. It was a popular product in Indiegogo. Dang. So I think we did a little bit better of a job on Indiegogo.
If this worked for my car, I would maybe give it a crack.
But you think? I have no desire at all. That's kind of what I wanted to bring it to the show for. If my car could play Netflix, when would I ever use that? I don't think it.
I probably wouldn't use it either, but I kind of like the idea of like most map. It's like, you get your map, you get your radio, whatever. That's fine. But at the end of the day, it's like you have this big screen that you almost never really use. And there's something fun about like, I'm stuck somewhere. I'm just in my car. I'm waiting in Chick-fil-A. It's a long line. Turn on a little show or whatever. It's like, I could see that'd be something fun about that.
I would say one of our close mutual friends has a Tesla. And the handful of times that I've sat there and needed to watch Netflix or something in the Tesla, usually when we're charging or doing something like that, it is a pleasant experience. It makes you feel like you are definitely living a life of luxury, but I'm not, I don't know. I'm just not dying for this.
Yeah. If the compatibility page was up and it was like, oh, this works with your car, I'd be a little more intrigued, but it seems like maybe this is dying in the water.
That's Cardongle.
I got one here for you. Snugsy. You seen this ad?
I have never, ever heard of this.
So Snugsy.
I hate it.
Snugsy is their little stuffed dolls, and the idea is that you could send them a picture of your friend or your family member or whoever, and they will print like a little guy. They'll put their face in. They could be a little army guy or a construction worker or wearing a Superman shirt, or there's a whole bunch of different ones. And it's about the size of like a teddy bear, but it clearly is. I mean, it's a face. It's a picture of a face wrapped around a doll, so like it can only be so good. It kind of looks janky, and it looks like it's in euros, but it's like they're $30. Seems like for these.
Yeah. They're fairly big.
Yeah.
So it's generally, I don't know really what to compare it to. Maybe it would adequately fill a microwave. Don't you think?
It's like you could lay on it. It's a pillow. It's like
it's
not quite
it's
a full-size
pillow
pillow,
sized.
but it's like a throw pillow size.
Yeah. So
would you ever get this as a gag gift?
it passes. It definitely passes the gag gift.
Oh,
sniff test.
It's $43 US. So that's a little more expensive.
That is astronomical for what it is. No way.
Yeah,
But in theory,
$29 US, I would be tempted.
What they need to do is do away. So what Snugsy has done is they have licensed a bunch of sports teams so that you can put the Snugsy doll in, shirts for various sports teams. So you can make them Wonder Woman, all these different properties, Friends, etc. Yeah. Which I'm sure they had to license, which I'm sure costs money. So they should have done away with all of that because that is just stupid.
Yeah, there's like 1,000 options here.
Yeah.
I would take.
they have DC Comics, WWE, Chelsea, Batman, Superman, Friends, Wonder Woman. It's just like not realistic.
And maybe the cost wise, it's like it's all the same to us. But yeah, I would take something that's half as expensive and and a little more paint by numbers. Because I think there was something funny about having a little, especially when I was single, having like that. There's always like somebody you can kind of make fun of, and like you get a little Snugsy of them, throw it on your couch. It's like kind of funny.
Yeah, it could make a good like missionary going away present. You give the parents a little missionary of their. There's some applications for this, no doubt.
What about like long distance relationships? Get a little weird. Is that?
I mean, people would do it for sure. It would just be another gag gift, right? Your girlfriends.
I'm not there, but my Snugsy's there.
Exactly. It's just a gag gift, and it's just in that kind of stupid gag gift territory. But at that price point, $40 is too much for a gag gift.
Too much. It's got to be 25 to 20, 29. You want to do your last one, or you want to move on?
Let's do my last one. So this is GoPuff.com. I got an ad for this on Instagram today, and I kind of turned my nose up at it because it kind of purports to do the same thing that like Instacart or Postmates or any of these kind of fast delivery apps do, which is, DoorDash and Grubhub and stuff are more limited to strictly food delivery. But if you get on Postmates, they can go to like 7-Eleven and pick you up a razor and some Ben & Jerry's and all this different stuff. So originally I saw GoPuff.com and I was like, this just looks like a Postmates ripoff. But what it claims to do is they have a micro fulfillment center, which means that you can get your order in just 30 minutes. We're open late to get you what you need, and it's $1.95 for delivery, which is a really, really low delivery fee. This is, I think we've talked about ideas like this before on the podcast, which is we had like an energy drink idea, Scott, if you remember. And the idea behind the energy drink idea was you could have people like just, they're already driving DoorDash or driving Uber, but in their car, they're also carrying some list of convenience store type items that they could deliver it in like a couple of minutes for relatively low because they're already out there driving with the stuff already picked up. Yeah. So that's why I bring GoPuff.com, which is that they say they have these micro fulfillment centers, which seems to me to be a really effective way of getting stuff to you. It's not currently available where I am, which reminds me why it's stupid that I would get an Instagram ad for it.
Yeah.
But where's
it available?
I don't know. I'm sure in San Francisco or something.
Yeah.
But not yet here.
So I think it's interesting. Where I think it misses the mark is, so it's like there's obviously, clearly food, fine. I think alcohol, okay, that's great. Can you DoorDash alcohol right now? Is that
not in Utah, but in some places you can.
And yeah, I mean, it looks like you can get cleaning supplies, which is nice. And then this curated mystery box, I think that would be a fun experiment. But yeah, I guess my big problem with this is when I look through this stuff, I know I'm just trying to. There are things that I wish I could have delivered to me, but I don't want CVS paper towels, if that makes any sense.
Mhm.
Like, I want Costco paper towels. Like, I want somebody to go to where I want it, and I worry that this is like, yeah, we can get it. Well, we can kind of get it. We can get it like overpriced at a place that you wouldn't normally buy it. It's like, okay, well, that can help sometimes, but oftentimes it's like, I don't know. That's my only worry with stuff like this, is that I feel like they kind of go too broad. I would almost rather something that was like, like I would almost rather something that's like, hey, we specialize in these 3 places: Home Depot, Costco, and Walmart, and that's it, or whatever, you know, like places that are a little more common and bigger box, and I don't know. That's my only hesitation with stuff like this. Also, Go Puff. I don't know. Puff.
I originally I got the ad and it was like a vape or something.
Yeah, it just seems like
Go Puff, not a good name. I'm
like
interested in the
like
idea
a cereal.
For $2, if I could get some of these essentials just delivered in under 30 minutes, that would be pretty cool. And it says it's 24/7 in most markets.
And really, again, a lot of the stuff I want, at least at my stage in life, is like produce, and I'm not seeing a lot of that here. It's like, oh, I need an onion for this thing. It's like, oh, I don't want to drive there, but maybe if somebody could like get it to me really quickly,
yeah,
that would be awesome. But Go Puff,
Go Puff,
get a better name, and come to Salt Lake so we can try it out. It's time, Andre.
All right, let's do it.
Do I have transition?
Do you want to transition us in?
Do I dare hit this transition button here? Let's see what happens.
I think you should dare. All right. I'm contemplating whether or not I want to lead in with the traditional ask a leading question and hope that the co-host responds with the right answer.
You like bears, right?
You've considered owning a pet bear, right? That's what crossed your mind, surely. No. Talk to me about your bathroom. Talk to me about your countertops, your drawers. What's it like?
Well, I don't have a socket shelf. I'll tell you that, Andre.
I thought you did have a socket shelf. No, you don't have a socket shelf, but you do have your thing in the shower.
I do have the
toiletries.
toiletries, which I'm a big fan of. So just mainly around the sink space area?
Yeah, around the sink space area.
So you walk into my bathroom, I've got a double sink situation, big mirror. On my side...
Scott's just living a life of luxury. Views everywhere like, what? You're doing the podcast?
Two whole sinks. It's not... So we opted to not get the marble in the bathroom, which my wife reminds me of about every couple months. Just like, I hate this laminate. Why did
you have laminate in the bathroom?
Yeah, it's laminate, but like it kind of looks like it's... I know.
Yeah.
So I get a lot. I that's one of those things. Like I don't care. It's all the same. Yeah. It's like no, it's not. Whatever. Anyway, so I've got my one toothbrush. I cycle through toothbrushes every 3 months, 4 months, and then I've got. I think right now I have my Manscaped plugged in. Sometimes I leave it in the shower. Sometimes I plug it in right there. I've got a little basket full of those toothpick things that you put in your mouth. That you like.
Yeah.
And I think another thing of Q-tips, it's kind of in the middle. And then we have like a little container, like a wooden thing that has my forming cream for my hair from Tea Tree, as well as my deodorant. And that's about it for me. Moving over to Joy's side, quite a bit more stuff. She cleans her face every night, so there's cleaning things, and there's another smaller mirror for, I think, makeup and stuff. I think she keeps most of her makeup in drawers, though, but she does have some stuff out.
Yeah.
Is that enough stuff?
No, this is enough. So really, what bugs me about the bathroom is instinctually I want like a nice, clean bathroom counter where everything is in its place.
I have some Listerine also. I just remembered. I often have a bottle of Listerine sitting out.
Yeah. So, I mean, several different things, right? Sure, all with different purposes. And what annoys me is that I have all these different things that I use every single day, and my partner has the same, and in completely different amounts, different products. Like between the two of us, it's like a billion different things that are coming out every day. So my options are to just leave them on the counter, and then I have literally like 100 bottles on the counter every day, or to put them in the drawer And then I have to take them out and put them in and take them out and put them in and take them out and put them in. And then my drawers are just like, all you're doing is moving the mess from the countertop to the drawer, right?
It just might as well be junk drawer, just crammed full of crap.
Yeah. And these that are listening, ideally, if you are experienced in the world at all, you know that this is not a unique problem at all. And that it's actually pretty well solved for, which is to say that modular storage, little desk or drawer dividers, little countertop organizers, these are not new.
Yeah, we got the countertop organizer in effort to try and get some semblance of organization there.
Exactly. Yeah. So modular storage is hot. Desk organizers are hot. Countertop, all these things exist. You can go to Target and Amazon. You can get 100 little tiny boxes that all fit inside of each other and go in drawers, and with little long boxes and little stout boxes and all these different things for drawers. So I was cooking on that idea a little bit. The reason is I've been working on finding a bathroom countertop organizer for myself. So I was at IKEA this last weekend. I've looked on Amazon, and ultimately it's kind of hard because we have a hair dryer that we use almost every day. We have different toothbrushes. There's all this stuff that I want out on the counter. And sometimes you might have like a organizer with a little spot for your hair dryer, but then the whole thing looks bad. It's just like I have very specific tastes to start with. So finding something for my countertop is actually really hard for me. I have the same problem in my kitchen and bathroom drawers. It's just like, I feel like all I'm doing every day is moving my mess into and out of different things without anything that actually feels right. So I had the thought about all that. I turned down a bunch of like tacky looking countertop organizers that I didn't like. And I was just like, I feel like nothing is actually doing it for me. So then I started thinking, well, what if I just like 3D model countertop organizer, and then I'll get it like 3D printed, right? And it's going to have a spot for Abe's toothbrush and my toothbrush and my toothpaste and my moisturizer and like my razor. And it's going to have a spot for the mouthwash and like a little spot for the cups for the mouthwash. And it's going to have a little, like 2-inch tall little crannies where I'm going to put my like eye serum and my whatever else I have, and a little spot for Abe's hair gel and all this different stuff. And I was like, I'll just design it out. I'll get it 3D printed, and then I'm going to have like the perfect countertop organizer. This is where I landed on this. And then I was thinking this would like perfectly solve the function of what I want, and it would totally fail on the form side of what I want, which is that I'd have this kind of like junky, huge plastic thing on my counter, which is also not what I want. So I got to thinking, which like, this is a interesting process that I think hopefully thieves do. Definitely because they're listening to this podcast, but also like everybody in their ideation phase, which is you have an idea in your head and it's like, okay, now how do I make an idea like real and in the real world? What's cool is when you're a kid, you have a really easy way to do this, which is Legos. And it's like with Legos, you can have something in your brain. You can have a house or a park or a transformer or a monster or whatever. And then like, with kind of a rough catalog in your mind of all the different pieces, you can start assembling what that looks like in real life. But what I never really liked about Legos as a kid is that like they're tiny and it takes a really long time to actually put something together. What I actually way preferred over Legos was Lincoln Logs, because
I thought you were going to say Connects.
No, not Connects. Lincoln Logs. And Lincoln Logs, what I really like about them is they have fewer ways to fit together, and they're larger, obviously. They're a much bigger format. But you can still like be fairly creative, and you can have the result in like a couple of minutes versus like an hour that it would take to build the same scale or size of something in Legos.
To build a log cabin with Lincoln Logs, you could do that in a minute.
Yeah, you can do that in a minute flat.
To do
the same thing in
Legos, you're like, okay, I gotta find.
This is gonna take hours, right? So I'm thinking through that. I'm thinking through 3D printing and Legos and Lincoln Logs and all these different ideas. And then I'm looking at my counter and I'm seeing like and I'll probably post like a picture in the show notes or a link to a picture in the show notes or something. Because you look at my counter and it's just like, it is actually such a mess and I hate it so much. But here's where I landed after all this like ideation on Saturday while I was at IKEA, which is, what if I could buy a series of flat stained wood pieces that interlock together, and when interlocked, they fit seamlessly together and show like no joints or anything like that. And I could buy them in a flat pack of pieces ranging from like a 1/2 inch long to a foot long, with these neat little interlocking grooves in each piece, and they're designed to fit together, and they're in the dimensions that are made, these like 2-inch deep dimensions for drawers and for countertops. And now I take my Lincoln log of organizer pieces and I assemble a drawer with like the dimension and spot of all the different things that I have in my like daily personal care arsenal, with a little cubby for everything. So it's not like so much moving junk as it is like everything goes in its place. I have the same thing on my countertop. Right. It's assembled in these like flat pieces, and it's like exactly to my specification. And it looks good because they're these stained wood pieces that fit together and look good together, but they're built, with modular pieces from my design. And I think this is basically taking modular organization and saying design something that's for you and not just modular. It doesn't just have a bunch of pieces that stick together, but you're taking actually even the subdivision of a piece and building compartments that work for you and make sense to you for organizing.
Yeah.
I had 2 names for this idea. Neither of them are good, so you can think on them. My first one was shelf bricks, BRIX, shelf bricks.
Okay.
The second one was stow sticks. Also not a good idea. Those are my 2 ideas. What do you think, Scott?
Well, so as you started talking about this, I looked up. Tell me if you think. I know this is not exactly at all. Well, this is nothing at all what you're saying, but it reminded me of this this bed frame company called Thuma, and they have this kind of bed frame you can order. It's really handsome wood, and like instead of most bed frames are like kind of you got to screw them in together or whatever. These kind of like lock in really tight.
It uses no tools. Just
like
everything grooves together.
Yeah. This obviously is on a big scale with the bed frame, but this is that a little bit.
Yeah, on the micro scale, you could accomplish the same thing and allow people to build out these little compartmentalized pieces.
In your mind, is this so I've built this thing, is this something I'm putting in my drawer, or is this something I'm keeping out on top, and then maybe it has like it's just all organized perfectly in the middle, and maybe there's like a cover?
I think in my mind you can do it both ways, right? Because you stand it up on its like skinny end, and you have kind of like a mosaic of different pieces for holding different things, but then you take the same thing and you lay it flat, and it's a drawer organizer, right? Yeah. So you can do it either way, and like mechanically it's the same.
Yeah, this is good. Yeah, no, I'm trying to think through what I would add or change to this.
I think I'm curious, like if people
because the closest thing
as much as I do,
the closest thing I've seen to this when it comes to desk organizers, I know are like for silverware, they have things where you can like. It's like 3 things, but you can kind of slide the middle things around a little bit.
Yeah.
And most silverware things are like pretty ugly, but you can kind of move. You can kind of slide it. Oh, this is going to be my knives are, so this is skinnier, and I'm going to slide this one down a little bit or whatever. That's like kind of close to this.
It is close.
But I really do like the idea of so you have I'm envisioning this big kind of open box, and you have like a bunch of pieces. Yeah, it's sticks or they're almost more like small flat panels, and you have the ability to kind of like make these little whether they have rivets in them at every couple inches or whatever, and you're like, okay, like I want my hair dryer here, so you put it down and you basically like build around it, and you're like, okay, I want my puck of gel here, this here, and so you're kind of building around all your stuff, and then you eventually have like, okay, like everything's in this nice neat little spot, and then you can kind of like maybe push it in so it's all concise or whatever, or like leave room. And I think the idea of making it handsome, maybe there's a metal option, or something you can put or on the sides or the top or the corner to like make it not look just like plywood or whatever, but just like a nice. I think that would work.
Yeah, I think I have 2 kind of secondary points. First is that if you're interested in the concept, I think the best way that you could test it and demo it and see how far you get is you can get like a CNC machine that will cut wood. I think you could design a template for these like thin wood pieces to see how they might join together and how they might like look in practice. 100 different ways to test the actual philosophy behind it. The second piece is what I was most interested in, like through the ideation process of this, was the idea of taking, many different things, but also ideas on this podcast that we kind of approach as going like very modular, which and a module being like you get a complete piece and then you slot that piece in.
Yeah.
Where it's like Lincoln logs are like you get not just you don't just get the square, you get the side, right?
Right.
It's like we had an idea on the podcast a long time ago that I also brought, which was this like modular backpack idea.
Yeah.
What that idea was, it's like the back is a frame, and then you stick on like a photography piece and a laptop piece and a like chargers and stuff piece. And it's like, I wonder how ideas like that and just across the board is like how you can take consumer products that maybe have like some customization built in, and they maybe have a way to add and subtract pieces, and how you could take that and then actually make it like one step deeper of take just the actual individual pieces and enable people to build something that's like unique and custom to them. And
so
I don't know.
I'm curious. So you initially started talking about the 3D printing and then kind of skipped over. It's like, oh, I don't really want this plastic thing. I'm curious what you think about this though, because when you first started talking about it, I was like, oh, maybe like a 3D printed thing could be kind of, and especially where it's like I can be really specific and get it down to, measure your toothpaste and measure this, and it's like everything could be like crazy precise, right? But the downside to 3D printing, right? So you're dealing with plastic. But what if what you're buying is a hyper custom 3D printed insert, and then basically a wood box around it that like covers it. And so and whether there's a hinge or whatever. So then I go on and I say, okay, like what's in your bathroom? I got this. You had to click all the things. It's like, all right, here's the stuff. You can slide things around and like measure it very precisely if you want. Or if you're like, no, that's about it. And then it's like, great, we'll print this for you. Now choose your frame. And then it's like, okay, I want the oak frame, I want the metal frame, I want this. Okay, this is what it's gonna tuck into. And then they ship you both, and you put it in, you put the things out, you put all your stuff in. And the cost in that, you gotta think is nothing, right? Most of your cost is on the outside stuff, but since it's all fairly uniform, you're just kind of shrinking it down to whatever you're dealing with less dimensions. Whereas the inner stuff, it's like, you gotta think people have a curling iron that's like, or some bathroom things that are maybe really oddly shaped and peculiar. You're like, great, we can design around that. Like you could have a circular thing, and you could have something that it just totally slots in. What are your thoughts on that?
I like it. I think that's a really good idea. I wonder, like, do you think that, can they do that with 3D printers these days? Like, no, definitely. So in like the concept you could definitely do, which is like we can 3D print this insert.
Right.
But can you do it like if I send you 5,000 orders, can you produce that many?
That's
custom. That's the only question there. And I don't necessarily think that means that's what it has to be.
Yeah, it would be interesting to see 3D printing at scale, what that looks like.
Yeah, I don't know what it looks like.
Because I know people sell plenty of things 3D printed, especially these days.
All over.
And when you think about manufacturing, you got to think that we are at a stage where it's like people will 3D print lots of, small things, just kind of. And again, most of what you're printing is like sides and shapes, and it's not that complicated. So even if it took,
in theory,
think about this, like whereas most stuff that has to be assembled, you have to go through a QA process, you have to go through all these other things. You almost skip a lot of stages because it's coming out the same every time.
Yeah, it comes out exactly how it's supposed to be.
And so maybe you lose a little time making it, but you gain it back because you don't have to deal with all these different components. I'm trying to think.
Yeah, do your name magic, please.
I mean,
it's not easy.
Yeah, I might say something like Organite, or something dumb like that.
Well, you did not improve on my bad name of shelf bricks.
I mean, you could do. I mean, like Thuma is the name of that. This could be one of those like.
Well, yeah. I mean, if we can.
But sometimes
that's cheating now. If I just Google like Norwegian words.
But sometimes products are better. Like you.
Yeah, I agree.
There was the Haagen-Dazs bar is like, it sounds better because it sounds foreign, right? You could also call it the Choco Taco, which it's a different thing. So I think this may fall into the camp of like give it an exotic sounding name.
Yeah. Which there are many. Just like scrolling through a quick list, like almost handle curve.
Ooh, handle curve,
which means shopping basket in Norwegian.
There you go. Yeah, like maybe like a Norwegian. Type in organized in Norwegian. What's that? I'm sure it's all over IKEA.
Or it's basically organized.
or Swedish or Dutch or something like that, you know.
It's hard because like these words, you know, they have like cultural meaning. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Sometimes you put in words like this and you just get words that sound the same.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, that's
man. I'm looking at all these different languages. I'm trying to find one that
doesn't just read as organized.
Yeah,
that's
so,
exactly what I'm doing.
There's so many. This is
I
crazy.
know, and they all basically just say organized.
This is.
I told you.
This is
it's
crazy.
got like it's one of those words I think that just doesn't really translate.
Yeah. What else could I look up here? Yeah, I've tried French and German and Italian. I'm trying to think of like languages that are.
I'm trying to think of just a synonym of organized, like clean.
So in Malay, in Malaysian, it's mengitar.
That's not exactly sexy either.
How about Icelandic? Icelandic? Surely there's a word for.
Surely.
Oh, here we go.
Okay.
Skipuleggja.
And that's translated from organized?
Yeah, organized in Icelandic is Skipuleggja. Skipuleggja.
Perfect.
Skipuleggja.
We will put that, copy and paste that into the chat so that I can make that the show title.
Skipuleggja. That's kind of, ledger, like a ledge, wood.
No, it makes sense. Cool.
Well,
that's the idea. I like your 3D printed idea better.
Well, that's what we do. It's a little bit of workshop. We got there.
Yeah, we did.
Okay, Andre, let's move to the last act here. We got a little bit of a mailbag. So I want to highlight 2 tweets, both from Rigger. The first one...
We love you, Rigger.
Rigger is the best, honestly. The first one is they were listening to The City Jump, which is an old episode, but I think we reposted it.
It's like episode 2. We did repost it recently.
And on that episode we did a still to screenplay. And so Rigger said he thinks there should be a film called Apollo Steed, which is a horse racing remake of Rocky's Apollo Creed. And when I said this to you, Andre, you had said that you'd never really seen any Rocky movies.
Not that I can think of.
I don't mean to out you here on the podcast, Andre. I'm sorry about that.
You didn't just say it. You shamed me for the podcast.
I was surprised. I was like, oh, a lot of people seen Rocky. I mean, I haven't. There's some Rocky movies I haven't seen, but basically it's the story of a boxing underdog. Conquers all. I imagine in this version not too dissimilar from Seabiscuit, and other horse racing movies where you have
I don't know if I've expressed this opinion on the podcast, but I feel like I could go for a huge horse movie.
Like right now
I think
days.
Now seems like a fine time for a horse movie. It's been a pretty long time.
Yeah,
I like horses.
Seabiscuit, those are the last couple ones.
Yeah, so
Apollo Steed.
Apollo Steed, which is a good name.
Would it be?
And I like that it has some source material.
I would. Okay, so what if it's a comedy though? Like Apollo Steed, obviously a play on words.
No.
Like what if it's?
I want it.
What if it's like Best in Show though? Like it's like a Mighty Wind. Like it's one of those kind of mockumentary.
Well, that's like almost cheating because you could say any topic and be like, but what if it was like Best in Show? And I would be like, yes, we should do that.
Of course, we want that.
So that doesn't really track. I am saying, yes, I would be interested in a Best in Show-esque comedy or a dramatic, just kind of underdog story about horses.
Okay. Well, now the other tweet Burger tagged us in. So a few episodes ago, I brought this problem, which is basically like the housing market's crazy. I don't really have a good way of getting equity out of my house because I'm kind of stuck in it. And he tagged me on a service called Picasso, PACASO.com. And the idea here is it is a kind of a shared real estate ownership.
Yeah.
So kind of like a timeshare, but instead of owning it with like lots of people, you own it with like 5 or 6, or like in this example, he said you'd have 1/8 ownership. And so presumably you'd own it for a period of time. The lot costs X amount. You would get some time there. So whether you wanted to rent it out or whether you want to live there or whatever, that's up to you. What do you think about this like co-owned property? Like, is that something that you would ever consider?
You know, I have often said, so something that we have in Utah is what we call snowbirds,
Yeah.
which are typically older people that go south for the winter, which is to say, like, they go to St. George when it gets cold and then they come back here when it's warm here. I have always been fascinated by this idea because I would love to only live in Salt Lake for the spring and then to go literally anywhere else for the rest of the year.
Yeah.
So the idea of having a partial stake in several different homes, allowing you to live, in different places is definitely interesting.
What about also the idea? Because I think lots of people are like, oh, let's go in on a house, but that's like really like kind of complicated and whatever. But this, it's like, hey, you get a couple buddies, and you could really easily get a second mortgage, and it's like cheaper, obviously, because you're splitting it 8 ways. But you could split a really cool place with some of your friends, and then all of a sudden you've booked it all out for the whole summer. And
I mean, they've designed, like, they clearly have done the work. So people that are interested at Picasso, PACASO.com, they've done a really good job as far as like presenting the co-ownership model, what it looks like, how it works. It makes sense to me, like how you might go about securing financing for this and then exactly what it actually looks like.
Yeah.
It's interesting. It's a really interesting idea.
Yeah, I think it's new enough, and it's like, I don't know, it feels kind of risky. The one story I have about like you should kind of wait on new sexy technology is 8 years ago. There was a website called Motif, and the concept, it was a stock website. The idea is, hey, instead of buying a stock and paying a fee, instead you buy a motif, which is like solar, or it's like tablets, and within that motif there's like 30 stocks.
Yeah.
And you basically buy stock in all that for however much, and then you pay one fee for all of them, basically, instead of whatever.
Right.
And so you're buying like concepts, you're buying like, I think, pharmaceuticals, or I think, space, or whatever, smartphone batteries, like whatever. And I was like, oh, this is really cool. So I threw, I think $1,000 or $2,000 in. I just kind of like left it, forgot about it. Anyway, I checked it about 3 months ago, and that site is gone now, and so is my money.
Really?
Yeah.
And the whole concept is just not there?
Yeah, it's just gone. They dissolved, and they got absorbed by somebody else, and it's just like, oh, man.
Yeah. Well, I mean, coming out of this, though, you would presumably have the legal documents of essentially a timeshare.
I do think it's a different time now. I just say with stuff like this, we're in a different age, obviously, now. I think things are different than they were 8 years ago, but I don't know. It's just like, you gotta always be just a little bit careful with stuff like this, because like, sometimes something's too good to be true, or it's like, hey, like we made a good run, and then you have to like figure it all out, and it ends up being this big headache or whatever. So I don't know.
Honestly, the other thing I would say, like, if you're interested in this idea, you should maybe take what Picasso has done and do it cheaper. Because so Picasso 1 obviously really specializes in like really high-end housing, mostly 1.5 million and above houses, which makes sense because 1, it's a sexier product to sell, 2, it probably just is more reasonable.
Yeah.
But secondly is that, so on the average home now, the service fee, which is for buyer aggregation, so presumably, their ability to promote to different buyers for the property, and then legal and finance is like huge. On a single share, it's $22,000, and the total purchase price of the share is $156,000. So a really considerable portion going towards buyer aggregation, legal, and financing, which is like one of those areas that you can typically shave a lot of money out of.
Yeah.
So I don't know that Picasso is the right business to do what this concept is of like co-ownership, but I'm really, really interested in the idea.
Yeah. All right, Andre, I think we've done it.
All right.
We had a
That's
good episode.
podcast, I think.
That's a podcast. Steve's idea, go steelistidea.com. If you want to send us an email, connect with us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, basically any social media platform you want. Rate us 5 stars in iTunes. Give us a shout out in your social media. Andre will always Venmo anybody who sends us, shares us in their work Slack or whatever. Hey, I'm just checking this podcast. It's really great. And he will Venmo you if you send us
$2.
$2.
Yep.
Anything else, Andre?
I think that's all.
Okay. Well, Thieves, this has been fun. Oh, I can't remember which one is the outro. We love you. We appreciate you. And we will catch you in the next one.
Bye.
Use Scipio, the #1 engagement tool for sales teams that want more responses, appointments, and conversations. Message your leads and customers where they are on their phone. I'm not talking about phone calls. We're talking about true one-to-one texting. Use the code STEAL at Scipio.com for 2 free licenses. Use the code STEAL at Scipio.com for 2 free licenses. See you later, thieves.